I first wasn't going to do this, but I got thinking, if I give you this story, it's in tribute and dedicated to the men who I knew who lost their lives. Okay. And then I wanted to tell them I was in a heavy bombardment group in China. We got our bombs and gas and supplies by flying the Hump. And the only way that you can get it in and out of China was to India is through the Hump. That was the only way. And we flew it routinely because there wasn't enough support aircraft to relieve us of this load. And of course, it was the worst flying weather in the world, and we flew it above 20,000 feet to clear the mountains. Mount Everest was up here on our right. We could sometimes see the peak. And we had a very weak radio beacon at the station we were landing at Chabwa. And due to atmospheric conditions, the needle would rotate, so it just wouldn't settle down because of the atmospheric conditions. And we kind of had to fly a heading, hoping we were headed to Chabwa. Couldn't see the ground. We're always in the clouds. Carried enough gas to get there plus 20 minutes. Once you pass the halfway mark, you're committed. You have to go. And my navigator, Glenn McKinley, said, finally, Bob, I think we're over the valley being Assam, India, between the peaks of the Himalayas and the mountains on the other side. Well, I had no choice. I had to go down or we would bail out, one or the other. Well, I said, well, try it. Glenn, we'll go down. I throttled back and started a slow spiral down from over 20,000 feet, going down, never knowing if I was going to hit a peak. The bombardier came up on the flight deck and he said to the co-pilot, Al, he's going to kill us. And I pulled my gun out and I pointed at his head. I said, if you don't get off the flight deck now, I'm going to kill you. I mean, my hands were full. I realized I had no choice. I had to go down. Well, we got down. I saw the ground finally when we were skimming the treetops, a couple of 100 feet above the treetops. The needle spinning. Glenn said, Bob, as we passed over a river, he said, I think I know where we are. Take up a heading he gave me. I flew it. And suddenly, whoosh, we flew over an airstrip. That was Pandavaswar. I called the tower, requested landing instructions. He said, the field is closed. I said, I'm declaring an emergency. He said, land at your own risk. I said, okay. I told Glenn, or Al, I'm going to try to fly a rectangular pattern and get lined up with the runway. I'm going to make another pass over to get myself lined up and look for the strip, because couldn't see it out there. Saw it as it passed under you. It was gone. Correct. I said, okay. Get the landing gear down, load the landing gear, the flaps. Flew my rectangular pattern lined up for my final approach. Throttled back, landing airspeed, and started down. By God, there was the airship. Pulled the throttles off, pointed the nose down, and got down, we landed. Well, I found out 17 airplanes were lost that day. 3 of us landed, and that was it. That was the story. Terrible. Could hear those guys. I said, yeah, I told them, I said, we hear these guys on the radio. They're screaming, yelling, they're bailing out, they're silence, hitting mountains. It was pandemonium that day because the field was closed and they had no place to go. There's no point in taking more fuel. Why take all that gas over and then bring it back when we're coming over to fill up our wing tanks and Bombay tanks? So that was my experience flying the Hump, the worst flight ever had. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Guys, never sunk in.